In 2000, Netflix's founders offered to sell their struggling DVD by mail company to Blockbuster for just $50 million. Blockbuster declined. That decision cost Blockbuster their entire business, while Netflix is now worth over $200 billion. While most business failures are attributed to poor execution, the Netflix Blockbuster story reveals something deeper. Sometimes perfect execution of the wrong business model leads to extinction. Let's examine the 5 critical factors that enabled Netflix to replace Blockbuster and create an entirely new paradigm for content delivery and consumption. 1. Business model innovation as disruption. Netflix's subscription model addressed a major customer pain point: late fees. These same late fees generated 16% of Blockbuster's revenue, nearly $800 million annually. The traditional video rental model optimized for transactional revenue. Customers paid per rental plus penalties for late returns. This created an inherent conflict. Blockbuster actually profited when customers failed to return videos on time. Netflix's innovation wasn't just mailing DVDs. It was the subscription model that realigned incentives. For a flat monthly fee, customers could keep DVDs as long as they wanted, no late fees. The longer a customer remained subscribed, the more profitable they became for Netflix. But wait, wouldn't this reduce revenue per customer? Blockbuster executives thought so. What they missed was that by eliminating the industry's biggest pain point, Netflix created something far more valuable: customer loyalty and predictable recurring revenue. When was the last time you examined whether your revenue model creates friction with your customers? While Blockbuster optimized for short-term transaction value, Netflix built a foundation of subscribers with higher lifetime value. By 2007, Netflix had delivered its billionth DVD and was positioned for its next transformation: streaming. The lesson: find pain points that customers hate but companies profit from. Blockbuster saw late fees as a revenue center. Netflix saw them as an opportunity for disruption. Second, digital transformation and technology adoption. While Blockbuster was optimizing its 9,000 store network, Netflix was building a technological infrastructure that would eventually account for 15% of global internet traffic. Netflix began planning its streaming service in 2004, yet maintained its DVD business while building the necessary infrastructure. This dual-track approach required significant investment with uncertain returns, precisely the risk that established players like Blockbuster avoid. But wait, couldn't Blockbuster have copied Netflix's streaming service? They tried with Blockbuster Online. The problem wasn't that Blockbuster couldn't build the technology. It was that their entire business model, cost structure, and culture were optimized for physical retail. Netflix leveraged cloud computing through Amazon Web Services rather than building expensive data centers, allowing for rapid scaling. They developed sophisticated content delivery networks to ensure smooth playback even during peak usage times. By 2011, Netflix had invested heavily in the technological infrastructure needed for streaming at scale. That same year, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. Still watching? You're already thinking like Netflix, not Blockbuster. While others chase quick fixes, you're seeking the deeper principles that create industry leaders. That's rare and valuable. In our next chapters, we'll reveal how Netflix's customer insights and content strategy created an unbeatable competitive advantage that even billion-dollar competitors couldn't match. Third, data-driven decision-making. Netflix's recommendation engine drives the majority of content views and saves the company an estimated $1 billion annually in customer retention costs. While traditional entertainment companies used small test groups and overnight ratings, Netflix built a system that recorded every viewer action. Which shows did you watch? When did you pause? Did you binge watch? All of this data fed into Netflix's understanding of viewer preferences. Netflix created over 76,000 micro-genres based on specific content attributes and viewing patterns. These hyper-specific categories allowed for remarkably precise content matching. But wait, couldn't Blockbuster have collected customer data? Yes, but Blockbuster primarily used data for inventory management rather than personalizing the customer experience. How much do you really know about your customers' preferences beyond what they tell you in surveys? What made Netflix's approach revolutionary was creating a virtuous cycle. Better recommendations led to more viewing, which generated more data, which improved recommendations. This data advantage became pivotal when Netflix began producing original content, starting with House of Cards. The lesson: organizations that create systems to capture, analyze, and act on customer data gain a significant competitive advantage. 4. Content strategy and original programming. Netflix's pivot to original content began with House of Cards in 2013. Today, that initial investment has evolved into a $17 billion annual content budget. When Netflix launched streaming, it relied on licensed content from major studios. This created risk. If content owners took back their shows, Netflix would lose value. Disney, Warner Bros., and others eventually did exactly that. Netflix faced a tough choice: keep paying higher fees to borrow content, or spend money making their own shows that they would own forever. Creating new shows costs more upfront than renting existing ones. But wait, couldn't spending so much on new shows cause Netflix to run out of money? What critics didn't understand was how Netflix's data advantage changed content creation. Netflix could leverage viewer data to make smarter choices about which shows would appeal to different subscriber groups. What assets in your business are you renting when you should be building? Netflix's content strategy evolved beyond American audiences. Shows like Sacred Games in India, Dark in Germany, and Kingdom in South Korea became global phenomena. By 2021, Netflix had become the largest entertainment producer in the world. The lesson: when companies create their own products instead of just selling what others make, they gain significant competitive advantages and build assets they'll own forever. You've just discovered how Netflix transformed from content renter to creator, the fourth key to their dominance. Only one critical pillar remains to complete your strategic advantage. The insights on global expansion in our final chapter might be the most valuable for your business yet, showing how Netflix turned cultural diversity into its greatest strength. Stay with us for these game-changing insights. 5. Global expansion and market adaptation. International markets now account for over 60% of Netflix's subscriber base. This growth wasn't just about offering the same service globally. Netflix used a three-phase strategy focused on adapting to local cultures. Phase 1 began with entry into Canada. Phase 2 expanded into about 50 countries with affluent consumers and established broadband. Phase 3 expanded to over 190 countries simultaneously. Rather than simply exporting American content with subtitles, Netflix invested in producing original content in local languages with local talent. But wait, wouldn't this localization strategy be prohibitively expensive? Netflix's data advantage proved decisive. The company discovered that quality local content attracted subscribers in specific markets and found unexpected audiences globally. Squid Game from South Korea became Netflix's most-watched series ever. Netflix's global expansion also required technological adaptation. In markets with limited broadband, Netflix developed mobile-optimized streaming and download options. The company even created a low-bandwidth version for markets with inconsistent internet connectivity. What started as a plan to reach more places became a business advantage by offering diverse stories and viewpoints. Successful global expansion requires cultural adaptation, local investment, and viewing diversity as a source of innovation and competitive advantage. What began as a $50 million rejection ended with a $200 billion transformation of the entertainment industry. Netflix's journey illustrates a critical business lesson. Disruption doesn't just change companies, it rewrites entire industries. The 5 pillars of Netflix's success: business model innovation, technological adoption, data-driven decision-making, content creation, and global expansion, formed an integrated strategy where each element reinforced the others. What normalized pain points in your industry represent opportunities for business model innovation? Today, every industry faces its own Netflix moment. What business model innovations do you see emerging in your industry? Share your insights in the comments. If you've watched until this point, You belong to the 1% of entrepreneurs who seek deep business insights in an attention-seeking era. If you found value in these insights, type valuable content in the comments. Your engagement helps us deliver more in-depth business analysis to fellow entrepreneurs. Subscribe to Simple Storytellers and like this video to ensure you don't miss these insights on business model innovation that can transform your company's future. Remember, in business as in entertainment, the most dangerous competitors aren't the ones who do what you do better. They're the ones who make people stop needing what you offer.